All Howie asked was that you've had controversy with comedian or with other comics. Right. And Mark has somehow forgot that he's had controversies with a million comedians and immediately goes to, nah, just Jeff Dye. How's that possible?
Wait, I mean,
WTF was started because he had such a terrible reputation.
He had showdowns with Louis C.K.,
Jon Stewart,
Bill Burr.
Why is my name coming up?
Bill Burr.
You could say that Joe Rogan was spearheading this movement, but dude, you were right there with him. You were spearheading your own movement. You lost the argument. Like, the people stopped listening to you and kept listening to him, and in fact started listening to him in much bigger numbers.
I saw your piece the other day
on Marc Maron.
Marc Maron, because I've been looking at
He's like this. It's like you're going down a cliff, you know, an edge of a rock, and you're just grasping, and there's a root, and you grab the root, and you're like, the roots suck.
F you, Mark, you cock.
Marc Maron recently stirred the pot with his comments about what he calls the Rogan sphere. In his view, this little universe of comics and podcasters has devolved into hacks, chasing cheap laughs, propped up by audiences looking for someone to confirm their biases.
I don't know that the comedians have had that much power.
Are you fucking out of your mind?
No, I'm being serious.
Joe Rogan. I'm not gonna.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
You know, you can't separate. Like, if the movement is like, you know, we're being censored. No, you're not. You're not. There's no constitutional censorship issue with your free speech. You say things, and in a democratic shit show of an environment, you know, like Twitter or whatever, there's cultural pushback. And I'm not saying that it was pretty bad in terms of, you know, people getting canceled and stuff, and I agree that was an issue, but that's a specific issue. To frame it as some sort of free speech problem was a misdirect.
He even admitted regret over his own role in helping podcasting explode, saying the medium has become a megaphone for the wrong ideas. For Maron, comedy is supposed to reflect a kind of moral awareness, a sensitivity to the world's wounds. For the comedians he criticized, his speech came across less like wisdom and more like a bitter grumble from someone watching the scene pass him by. And that's when the responses started rolling in. Jeff Dye's name came up directly in Maron's comments, and Dye didn't let it slide. Instead of retreating or ignoring it, he leaned into the jab. Dye's reaction showed how personal the insult felt, but he also made it funny. He has the kind of comedic rhythm that makes a retort sound like a bit, even when he's addressing an insult. His pushback captured the feeling many comics had. Maron wasn't just criticizing an abstract idea, he was naming names. And when you call a comic out, you're not starting a seminar, you're starting a fight.
So Marc Maron's been doing a podcast tour right now.
Oh yeah, Marc Maron's talking shit.
Yeah, he's talking shit about a lot of people. A lot of people in the Rogan sphere. He doesn't like, apparently. Just at first it was
specifically Jeff.
All Howie asked was that you've had controversy with comedian or with other comics, right. And Mark has somehow forgot that he's had controversies with a million comedians and immediately goes to, nah, just Jeff Dye. How's that possible?
Wait, I mean,
WTF was started because he had such a terrible reputation.
He had showdowns with Louis C.K.,
Jon Stewart,
Bill Burr.
Why is my name coming up?
Bill Burr. Fucking Gallagher.
Talk about punching down. Like, this guy literally didn't even know my name till a month ago.
I know. Dude, that is so funny. It's so funny that I've watched this. I never even thought of that angle on it, which is such a good point. That he literally, his point that he goes on to was about punching down, and they go, have you ever had beef with a comedian? He goes, can't think of anyone except Jeff Dye.
That's insane.
That's insane. Dude, you had beef with Cosby.
And
you had
Rogan.
beef with everyone.
And everyone.
I mean, I made up the Cosby, but I think Rogan,
Jon Stewart,
Louis C.K., Jon Stewart,
Gallagher, Louis, literally every comic.
I'll tell you what, though.
The only one that comes to mind is a guy I didn't know till a month ago.
Anthony Kumia took things to a harsher place. For Kumia, Maron's rant didn't expose the flaws of the Rogan sphere, it exposed Maron himself. Kumia flipped the script and labeled Maron the hack, arguing that jealousy drips off the critique. If the Rogan sphere is filled with people who built loyal audiences outside the industry, Maron is a symbol of someone still yearning for approval from the old gatekeepers. Kumia's pushback wasn't delicate, but then again, neither was Maron's original broadside.
I saw your piece the other day
on Marc Maron.
Marc Maron, because I've been looking at
He's
this.
like this. It's like you're going down a cliff, you know, an edge of a rock, and you're just grasping. And there's a root, and you grab the root, and you're like, the roots suck.
Right.
He's going down the mountain.
He's trying to grab at anything. Joe Rogan, the Rogosphere sucks. The woke is great. You know, these comics that are talking about trans are
Don't
terrible.
kick the trans when they're down. Are they really down?
Yeah.
I don't think they're that down.
When did that happen?
Yeah. When did kids, again, they always go, trans are like 7% of the population max, which they're not. Authentic trans people, which I believe in. I think you can be convinced you're born in the wrong body. I think it's 0.01% of the population.
Yeah, it's like an alien.
Yeah, you're a fucking freak.
You're a complete anomaly.
Young kids under 12, I think a third say that they are non-gender conforming.
Yeah, at least non-binary.
Non-binary.
You know?
So it's an issue.
Right.
And
Which
he's
is
like,
a trend, a fad, a thing to get attention.
You, Mark, you cock.
I met him. I did his podcast. He wouldn't release it.
Oh, right. I was wondering if he was the guy that would release the podcast that you did with him. Yeah. Well, why would he? You probably made way too much sense. It was against everything he believes in. So why let the people see that?
And he's a total lech who, like, he his assistants, his interns, anyone he works with, and then dumps them. And then he has that Jew thing where he's like, I'm a mess.
Neil Brennan took a more thoughtful angle.
So Marc Maron and Santino talked about me on Santino's podcast.
Neil, when Brennan and I would go out to eat, because he would take me to
I think
veg places, not vegan. But
you look at Neil, and I wouldn't say he's a great poster child for anything. You know, like
that's very funny. It's very funny.
And he'll take that.
Great joke writing. Great joke writing.
Yeah, meticulous.
Okay, so this is the part I wanted to get to.
Brennan was the only guy. It was funny. Like, I've known him since he was a kid. Like, literally since he was a kid. I started comedy with his fucking brother. But Brennan did my show once, did WTF, and he said, you can't put that out there. And I'm like, why? And he said, I don't think you treated me with the proper respect that I deserve at this point in my life.
Oh, wow.
And you know what? He was right. He was right.
It's the first time he's ever admitted that I was right. He was not respecting me.
Because when I was in New York, he was this droopy little fucking kid with long hair who would hang around, hand out flyers, wasn't even doing comedy, just was around.
By the way, of course put pants on. Of course. Go on.
But I always see him as that fucking little door kid handing out flyers in fucking New York. So
Barking.
I have that attitude. I'm like, so what do you have to go get your fucking shine box?
Right.
You know?
Here's my unsolicited advice. You trust your instincts if somebody doesn't respect you or some whatever, anything like that. I've had friends accuse me of being paranoid or looking at things negatively or whatever. It's like, no, I know when somebody respects me. And then make them respect you.
Dave Smith went right at Maron's accusation of groupthink. To Smith, the Rogan sphere isn't an echo chamber, it's the opposite. It's a space where comics can challenge mainstream narratives without fear of cancellation. Calling that hack or conformist made no sense to him. If anything, Smith suggested that Maron's position was closer to policing thought, deciding which targets are acceptable and which ones are forbidden. The irony wasn't lost on Smith. In trying to protect comedy from groupthink, Maron ended up sounding like the groupthink enforcer.
And so that's the cultural pushback element. But don't tell me that, like, the idea that a leftist is coming out here and saying that a giant corporation dictating who can speak and who can't speak is cultural. Like, even if you wanted to say that wasn't a First Amendment issue, it's not cultural pushback. And it's very strict. Like, right, Rob, don't you remember just not that many years ago when Mitt Romney made that dumbass comment about how corporations are people? And you remember when the left lost their mind? Like, what do you mean? Rightfully, the left lost their mind. You're taking some legal term and then applying implying it like corporations are people. No, they're not. They're legal entities. You know what I mean? This is different than a human being. But what is this other than a different way of claiming the same thing? Oh, YouTube censor, like even if it wasn't done at the direction of the government, YouTube censoring you, Rob, that's culture. That's the people. That's the people censoring you. No, it's not. It's one corporate entity doing it. And one that happens to be in bed with the government. But even leaving that point aside, like, no, come on, dude. What comedian could stand up for that? What comedian could downplay that? You should, what if what you say is offensive, you get silenced? Marc Maron, you want to play that game? I mean, okay. But then, of course, and now you're upset that the cultural wind is blowing another direction. But really, Marc Maron, you should be happy that we are all just better people than you.
Big J Okerson pulled the conversation back to basics. For him, theories about punching up or punching down don't mean much when you're in front of a real crowd. A joke lives or dies on stage, in the room, in that moment. The audience laughs or they don't, and no post-show moral essay changes that fact. Okerson's pushback stripped away the academic framing and reminded everyone that comedy is a live act, not a think piece.
I've heard him.
It's just a little strange. I don't care at all, Mark.
Well,
live your fucking life.
I heard him say Howie Mandel. I thought actually was handling what he was saying good because he was just like, and Mark's one of those things, almost like that Hannah Gatsby personality thing, where it's like, if you're not using comedy to do it this way, the way that I do it, then you shouldn't be doing comedy. It's just like a stupid kind of fucking like take on it, especially getting like. Not throw a dig. I think Mark's a great comic.
Sure.
But I mean, like this, I've only seen the trailer for the HBO thing, and it's just like, I mean, I've even heard that like exact take he did. He's like something about like, if my brain, if I stop thinking for a minute, my brain goes, "Hey, want me to open the worry folder?" It's a concept I've just heard 1,000 times. So it's like maybe he does something great with it. I'm not even arguing that, but it's like he's just too vocal. To be vocal about other people's like shit like that, like the way they do it, I'm like, who gives a fuck?
I also kind of feel like
if they kill, they fucking kill. It doesn't matter. The audience is the only thing that matters.
Taken together, the responses painted a split picture of stand-up today. On one side, Maron's camp calling for comedy to serve as a moral compass, as a form of cultural stewardship. On the other side, the Rogan Sphere comics who defend comedy as chaos, provocation, truth-telling without apology. Some answer with humor, some with philosophy, some with straight-up hostility. But they converge on the same point. Comedy dies the second it becomes a lecture. In the end, Maron's rant didn't just stir up backlash, it surfaced the core tension that's been simmering for years. Is comedy supposed to guide or just explode? Is it supposed to make us better or just make us laugh? Maybe both sides are right in their own way. Maybe the scene needs Maron's reflective scolding just as much as it needs the unfiltered madness of the Rogan Sphere. But one thing is clear. As long as comics keep pushing back, stand-up stays alive.